Hello BookTube, Sarah here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with my July 2017 TBR. So as usual, I am participating in the RRC Challenge, which is the Romance Readers Challenge, which is a group on Goodreads, and I will leave a link in the description bar below to that Goodreads group in case you're interested in joining. Every month they do a monthly challenge, and there are 10 different categories. And you need to pick a book that fits each category, and so far every month I have been able to finish all 10 books, so this has been super exciting. I've been doing this since January, and I absolutely love doing it, and I can absolutely see myself doing it for years to come, because this is a great way to get books off my TBR and get stuff read, and it's been a lot of fun. So let's jump right in and get started. Category number 1 is J is for July. Read a book that starts with J, or a book whose author's first or last name starts with J. And I had no more books that started with J. What I've been doing every month was using the title, but I read the only J book I have last month for June. So this month I am reading To Love a Cop by Janice K. Johnson. And this is a Harlequin super romance. It's about a woman who I believe is a widow. I think her husband is no longer in the picture, but he was a cop, and her son befriends a police officer. And she doesn't want this man in her life either because of her husband's death, or maybe he left them, I don't really know. And she begins to fall in love with him. So, sounds like a really sweet story. It should be really good. That cover is gorgeous too. So, and Janice K. Johnson is a very, very great author. I'm a big fan of hers. Category number 2, Happy Anniversary. Read a book that was published in July of any year, or read a book of a RRC member that joined in July of any year. And they always link a member list. I clicked on the member list, and I always try and find a person with like a good number of books, so I have a lot to choose from. And this person that I picked, that we share books in common, his name is Ashley. And this is actually the highest number of books in common that I've seen with another member that I've picked for this challenge, at 10%. Her and I had a lot of books in common, so I had a lot to choose from. But the one I picked was one that I have actually gotten a more recent book in the series on pre-order, so I thought I should really start this series. And that is Too Hot to Handle by Tessa Bailey. This is the first book in the Romancing the Clarkson series, and this is a story about a woman who, I guess, flunked out of culinary school, and she's on the road with the 3 siblings that she hasn't seen in many years, and her car breaks down in the middle of nowhere in some small little town in New Mexico. Well, anyway, the gentleman that comes to help fix the car is the main hero in this love story, and I guess it goes from there. So, cover looks very steamy. I'm sure this book is going to be very steamy. I think I'm really going to like it, and I cannot wait to read it. Category number 3, Featured Author Challenge. Jennifer Ashley is the author that they picked this month. Now, I went and I looked at this author, and there was really nothing that was jumping out at me that I wanted to read. I'm sure she's a perfectly great author, and people really like her, but just nothing was really interested to me. Now, at first I thought it was a different author. I thought it was Kristan Ashley, who's written some like motorcycle romances, and I got really excited thinking it was that, and then I think what set it off is that I was kind of disappointed that I had the wrong author. So you have other options for this challenge, and I also checked her pseudonyms because she writes under 2 pseudonyms, but neither one of those was really interesting to me either, like any of her books. So you can also choose to read a book under any of her pen names, an author with the same first or last name, or any paranormal or historical romance. So I'm with Paranormal Romance. I was able to put in my Crew of Hunters book for the month, and that is The Night is Forever by Heather Graham, book number 11 in the Crew of Hunters series. I've been at this almost a year now, guys. That's pretty freaking awesome. So this one is about a ranch and something that happened at that ranch during the Civil War. And of course it involves ghosts, and it involves the Crew of Hunters coming to investigate a murder. It should be a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying this series. Some of the books have been not as great as others, but that generally happens within a series. But overall, I'm still thoroughly enjoying this series, and yeah, I cannot wait to get to book number 11. Category number 4, Independence Day, July the 4th. And I might also point out that on July the 1st is Canada Day, and it's our 150th anniversary, or birthday. And I'm kind of a little disappointed in the girls over at the Romance Readers Reading Group that they did not acknowledge that for the month of July and have a category for Canada Day, because it's such a big anniversary. So, just putting that out there, ladies. Thomas Jefferson is the author of the Declaration of Independence. He led a committee that crafted the Declaration between June 11th and 28th of 1776. Read a book with a main character that's independent, a writer or a political figure, or a book with a cover that's at least 50% red, or 50% white, or 50% blue. Combination of 50% is okay too. Bonus points for all three. So I think I'm getting bonus points with this one, and that is The Inn at Eagle Point by Sherryl Woods. I can definitely see red, white, and blue in this cover. That inn is white, the sky and the water is blue, and the title is red. This book will be a reread for me. I read it many, many years ago. This is the first book in the Chesapeake Shores series. It is a great series. It's about a woman named Abby. I believe I talked about this book very recently in my author spotlight on Sherryl Woods. And it's about a woman, I think her name is Abby, and she comes back to her hometown to help her younger sister get this inn up and running. And she has 2 twin daughters and runs into her old high school boyfriend, and the romance goes from there. I'm really looking forward to rereading this one. I just adore this series. Now, they reissued this for the Kindle with a different cover, but I'm counting this, the original cover, as the one for this challenge. Category number 5, World Population Day, July the 11th. Read a book that touches on any human rights issue, a book that involves a billionaire or a main character of significant wealth, or a book with more than one person on the cover. I think I got the significant wealth and the more than one person on the cover. And the book that I picked is Blackmailed into the Fake Engagement by Leanne Banks. This is a Harlequin desire book, and it's about a woman who I guess is a former Hollywood starlet, and she's kind of fled Hollywood to lead a simpler life. And she gets blackmailed into pretending that she's engaged to this big Hollywood A-lister. And then the story goes from there. So this should actually be really good. That's a gorgeous cover. And I've been interested to read this one. It's the first book in the Hudsons of Beverly Hills series. So it should be a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. Category number 6. Vive la France, Bastille Day, July 14th. Read a book set in France or another country, other than the one that you live in, or a book that includes a royal or monarch main character, at any level, or a page count that includes a 1 or a 4. And I really kind of wanted to read a book set in France, so I did a search on Goodreads for books set in France, and a list came up, romance novels set in France, and I saw this one, and the cover jumped out at me, and it is One Evening in Paris by Nicolas Barreau. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. This is a story about a man who owns a cinema in Paris. And it's not your Hollywood blockbuster type cinema. He doesn't, do extra large drinks, and he doesn't show the newest feature films. He shows more award-winning kind of things, I guess, a cinema. And there's a woman who always comes in the theater in this red coat. And he one day decides to strike up a conversation with her, and they, I think, go out for coffee or something. Well then, as the story progresses, from what I gather from reading what it's about, is that a conglomerate is trying to take over his cinema. And at the same time, this woman in the red coat disappears. So he goes off in search for her. So it sounds like it should be a really great story. I was reading some of the reviews on it, and people were saying it was a great, almost like a romantic comedy, which is not what I got from reading the back of the book, but we shall see. I am really looking forward to it. I'm interested in trying a new author, and especially, to be honest, a romance novel by a man, which should be really, really great. I'm very much looking forward to that. Category number 7. National Ice Cream Day is July 16th. Read a book that has the word ice or cream anywhere in the title, series, or author's name. You can also read a book with ice cream on the cover, a book by your favorite author, or a book that would be special to you. And the book I actually picked is called Off the Ice by Julie Cross. This is the first book in the Juniper Falls series, I think. And I heard about this book from Jen at Today in Jen's Library. I think that's where I heard about it from. And I bought this quite some time ago, so it's been sitting on my TBR. And it has ice in the title, so it fits perfectly. I believe this is a new adult romance. And it's about a woman, girl, whatever you want to say, who takes a semester off of, I think, college to come and help her father, who is very ill, run the family business, I guess, maybe while he gets better. And it's the snack bar at a hockey rink. And she, I guess, meets back up with her old high school flame, and, things kind of go from there. I'm not a big fan of hockey, but I do love sports romance, so I am very much looking forward to this one. And with it, let's be honest, with it being like a new adult, it should be a much easier read, and that's always nice. And especially reading about, hockey and cold and ice and stuff like that in the middle of summer is going to be fabulous. Category number 8. International Day of Friendship is on July the 30th. Read a book that includes main characters who are close friends or a book published in 2011. So the book that I picked was actually written in 2011, and I'm very excited to, now, I'm sure I've read this one, but reading the back of the book, I don't remember reading it, so I don't know. And that is My One and Only by Kristan Higgins. Now, I've read everything by her. I find it odd that I might have skipped one, but maybe I did. I don't know. But this one is about a woman who's a divorce attorney, and her sister's getting married. It's a destination wedding, and she has an ex-husband. The main character has an ex-husband. And by weird circumstance, the two of them end up having to make the road trip to her sister's wedding together. So things go from there. Her almost fiancé at home, as it says on the back of the book, is not so sympathetic with this whole ordeal of her traveling with this ex-flame. And, of course, sparks start to fly, and, you know, should they have broken up or should they have not? It sounds great. The cover looks adorable. Every one of her books has a dog. Almost every one of her books has a dog. So I am really looking forward to this one for two reasons. A, it's a Kristan Higgins, and B, it's one I don't think I've read. The plot, it's tinking something in my brain, but it's not 100%. So I'm wondering if once I start reading it, I'll remember it. But right now, I'm going into this like new, and that's super exciting. Category number 9, Mutt's Day on July the 31st. Read a book that includes a pet, has an animal of any kind on the cover, or that's considered a paranormal or a fantasy genre. So the book I chose is actually the one that I got from NetGalley to review for this month. It comes out on the 4th of July. And that is A New Leash on Love by Debbie Burns. This is the first book, I think, in the Rescue Me series. And I was super excited when NetGalley approved me to review this book. So I'm glad, I am really glad I got to fit it into a category this month to be able to read and review for you guys. This is about a man, I guess they have a dog, and he decides that the dog is just too much trouble, so they're going to give it up to the pound. And the one who runs the pound is pretty much saying, it's not a good enough reason. You know, you adopted the dog knowing that they were going to be a lot of work, and you can't just decide it's too much and bring it back. And, you know, it sounds like it's going to be an enemies to lovers story. It really looks adorable. There's a dog on the cover, so it fits the category perfectly. And I cannot wait to read this one. The final category, of course, is Reader's Choice, and that is read any book of your choosing. I did a random, this is so funny, I did total, like I looked at all the books, the number of books I had on my TBR, and I did a random number generator, and I came up with this book, and this is the other one that I got from NetGalley that I had to review for you guys. This one came out, I think, in June, so I'm a little delayed on it, so I do apologize, but I will be, of course, reading and reviewing this one this month, and that is The Songbird Sisters by Rachael Herron. The third book in the Songbirds of Darling Bay series. This is Lana's story, the last of the three sisters. They used to have a country music singing group when they were younger, and then family issues happened, and they split apart, and they kind of all went their separate ways. So we've already had Adele and Molly's story. So again, this is Lana's story. She is a songwriter, and she wrote this big hit song that has pretty much set her now, financially. So she decides to come back to the small town with her younger sisters, and the country music star that she wrote this song for is now following her, demanding another song because that first one was such a big hit for him. So it's kind of their relationship, so it sounds like it should be really, really great. I love anything to do with country music. I adore country music, and I have adored the first 2 books in this series, so I'm really looking forward to this third one. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. I hope you did enjoy it. Please let me know in the comments below if you've read any of these books and what you thought about them, or let me know what books you plan on reading in July, because I would love to know that too. And until my next video, guys, take care and happy reading. Bye.